Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our subscribers and welcome to anybody who's watching, whether you're a subscriber or not. By the end of this video, if you've enjoyed it, I'd love it if you could give me a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber and you've still enjoyed it, please do hit the subscribe button and click the all button, and then you won't miss any one of our videos. So today we're going to be making a snowman card. Now I know it doesn't look much like a snowman at the moment. In fact, it doesn't look anything like a snowman at the moment, but it will by the time we're finished. And I've used a die. The only die I've used is to cut out my circles to make our snowman. But we'll get to that in a second. So for this size of die, you will need a card base, which is 2.5 by 6 inches. Yes, I know it's a funny size or an odd size, but all will become clear. And there are two ways of making our snowman card. When I say two ways of making, I mean treating. You can either put your snowballs on the front and the back, which is what we're going to do today. And if you're going to do that, you will need 6 pieces. But if you're going to leave the back like that, which of course you can do, and you're only going to decorate the front, you will need 3 pieces, 3 circles. So we're going to use 6 for ours. And you will need, if you're going to do back and front, you will need 6 dies of 2.5 inch diameter for this size of card. Obviously, if you want to make a bigger card, or a taller card, or a slightly wider card, you will need a bigger size die and just adjust your dies accordingly. So, the other thing you need to do is make sure you've got a small pair of scissors with a good point to get into the corners. Because what we are going to do, we're going to, the important part, if that's the right word, or the key to this, important sounds a bit posh, is to make sure we put our circles in the right place. So what we're going to do, we're going to put them so that they're just over the score line, because what we don't want to do, we do not want to cut that score line, because if you do, you'll just chop the card in half. So what we will do, we will use our red runner tape to put this on, and I'm just going to make sure you can see what I'm doing for a start. So I'll just put some tape on there. It doesn't have to go all over, and we'll decide where we're going to put our first one. Make sure you haven't got any glue on the outer edge, the bit that's going to stick out, otherwise you're going to get, although it doesn't really matter, because if you're putting your circles on the back, then it doesn't matter quite so much. So what you need to do is line your first ball up with the edge of the bottom edge of your card. Now, if you go round and you think, oh, actually that's not bad, because we're going to be sticking another piece on top of it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So the other thing you can do, actually no, I'm not going to do it that way. I was going to say you could put it on here, but I'm not going to do that. You could use glue if you wanted to, but I've had a bit of a clear round. I've had a bit of a sort out, and my glue's in a box in another room. So all I've got out are my tapes at the moment. So I'm trying to organise my craft room a bit better, which is something I'm always doing. So every time I think I get a good idea, I have another go. So we need that one to slightly overlap that one. Like that. It could have come down a little bit further, but if we can take it off without tearing, we will. If we can't, we won't bother. Oh, actually, do you know what? We might get away with that. That doesn't matter, because it's going to be covered. So we're just going to take it down a little bit. So just make sure that it's level with the first piece. Ish. It doesn't have to be absolutely exact, but as long as it's level, that'll do. So we're going to put the third piece on now. So put our adhesive on, however you want to do it, whether you're doing it with tape or glue. Tape is quicker because you don't have to wait for it to dry. So there's our tip of the day. And then we put that one down like that. And then what we do, if you're going to, actually, do you know what? I am going to put a little bit of glue or tape just under there, because I want that to stick. Although we're going to be putting a scarf on them in a minute. So if you're going to be putting your shapes on the back, what we do is we turn it over, and as you can see, they're not absolutely They're not absolutely in line, but that doesn't matter. It's a snowman. Snowmen aren't always exactly in line. So what we're going to do, we're going to start at the edge. And this time, if we're doing it on the back, it doesn't matter if it goes all the way across, because it'll stick to that part. What we're going to do, we're going to line that up with the first one. So line it up with the outer edge and stick it down like that. So we're actually covering and protecting the folded edge. So we're going to very quickly do that with the other two pieces. Add our adhesive and line it up, again, line it up with the outer edge. Don't do this on the other edge because you'll end up gluing it closed, as I did when I did it for the first time. Not today, but when I did it several years ago, I did this for the first time and I thought, oh yes, I know what I'm doing. And I didn't think, and I ended up gluing the front part closed. So don't do that. But if you do it, make sure no one's looking. Fortunately, when I did it, no one was looking, so no one saw. But I did have a good laugh to myself afterwards. So now you've got a piece that looks like that on the back and that on the front. So to make it look like a snowman, what you need to do, you need to take a good pair of scissors. I would recommend using the small pointed scissors that are sharp. And what we're going to do, we don't want to take too much off of here, off of the width, otherwise it won't stand up. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it from there. So if we've got a little bit of a snow mound that he's standing on, then that's fine. So we'll keep the width at the bottom to stabilise it. And then all we're going to do, is we're going to cut around those shapes just to make him look a little bit more like a snowman. And if he's standing on a bit of a mound of snow, then so much the better. So that's what we'll do, just to keep him stable. So that he'll stand up. And we will need to cut that bit off because we're going to make him a hat in a second. So pop that to the side, pop the scissors to the side. Two things we need to do now. Make sure you can open it and make sure that it stands up. And it does, and we can. So that's good. So phew, those were the two bits that bothered me the most. I thought, now, will it open? And it will. Will it stand up? Yes, it does. Perfect. So you've got plenty of room inside to write your message or stamp a message or however you want to create your message. And we've got a little bit of a snow drift there that he's standing on. So that's even better. And I haven't tried cutting round this bit, but I really wouldn't because it probably won't stand up. So we're going to make him a hat next. So you will need, I'm using coloured cards because it was one of those mornings I couldn't be bothered to get out a pen and colour it. And I've got so much coloured cards, it's ridiculous. So you need, your hat width for this size is 2 1/4 inches. How high you make it is up to you. I think mine's about 2 inches. I didn't measure it, but I think it's about 1 1/2, 2 inches. But then what you do, we're going to fold the bottom edge back. So we're going to make a hat rim. So we're going to just run a piece of adhesive. Whoops, he's coming with me. And we're going to do it like that. And we are going to make, I've done exactly the same for the other side. Now don't glue it together, glue them on separately, otherwise again you'll have the same trouble. You'll glue the thing together and it won't open. So we're going to glue along there, but not right up to the top. So put your adhesive just short of the top, because this may, so line it up. So when you line it up, you might find that the top edge sticks over a bit. So you don't want adhesive on that because again, you'll glue your card together. So he'll just keep on checking that it opens, and it does. So that's fantastic. It could have gone a bit higher, but never mind. So we're going to turn it over. I've already got this one made. We're going to, I haven't put the adhesive on yet, but that won't take 2 seconds. So we'll just put the adhesive on very quickly. And again, what we're going to do, we're going to, if you can see it, I can just see a corner sticking out of that one. we're going to line that up on the back and just make sure we can open it, and we can. Absolutely fantastic. So how you put, no, we're also going, before we do the other bits, we're also going to make a scarf. Now the scarf is 1/2 inch wide, and the bit that goes round the neck is 1.5. So that will go across there, 1.5 inches that is. So we will, this is, if you're like me, if you're old school crafter that likes to do everything by hand, you'll love this. But if you're one of the new crafters that does absolutely everything with a machine, then you probably won't like it very much. But that's all right. So we're going to put that there. It doesn't go right across, but it doesn't really matter that much. So in fact, what we could do, because I can still take that off, it'll be covered, so that's fine. What we could do is, if you want a bit that's a bit bigger, actually that one would be a bit bigger. Do you know what? We're not going to use that bit. So make it up as you go along, like I do, as you can see. So just measure it to the size you want it. It doesn't have to be specific. And I'm going to take that down just a little bit, because we've got to find some space, or leave some space, I should say, to put his eyes. And this one is about 2.5, something like that. So you could, I know I've actually torn this, but you could, if you do what I did and change your mind, crafter's prerogative, you could just pop that. I'm going to put it slightly to the side because we're going to put some buttons on him in a minute. And so what you could do, even though I've torn it, I'm still going to try and see if I can use this. So I'm going to put some adhesive on it right the way to the top so it doesn't lift. And so I hadn't anticipated it going wrong, so I think we'll get away with that. Yeah, we'll get away with that. So there is our scarf. Now he obviously needs a face. There are 2 ways of doing this. Do you know what? Let's do it the quick way. Just take a pen, this is just an ordinary black pen. If you want to, you can use bling, which I have got to one side, but let's do it the quick way. So all you need to do is draw 2 little eyes like that. And for the nose, we are going to draw him a carrot nose, just an ordinary orange alcohol pen. So you just do a little triangle out to the side. That's all it is. A carrot's just a triangle, nothing to worry about. There he goes. And if you want to give him a mouth, you can use bling if you want to. I've actually coloured up some bling, but I'm going to use my pen because it's quicker. So, and you can do however many you want. I think that's probably enough. And I am going to use my bling. Now this is a multicoloured bling. I think I got it from the works. And all I did was I took no I didn't use an alcohol pen at all. I used a black Sharpie pen. And I took the clear ones, or some of the clear ones, and I coloured them black. So we are going to put a bit of bling on this. I know it's black coal, but as it's for Christmas. So I'm going to put one there. We're only going to put the coal, or the buttons, where you'd see them. If the scarf is covering it, we won't worry about it. So we'll try and put 3, because it's always better to use an uneven number. And so perhaps we'll just put one right at the bottom. So again, they're not straight, they're not absolutely straight, but that doesn't really matter. When you're building it, whenever I make a real snowman, nothing's straight. The hat's not straight, the scarf's not straight, nothing's straight. So there we go, there is our snowman card, and isn't he cute? So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you have a go yourself. And one final test, yes, he still stands up. Absolutely fantastic. And he is so cute. Now you can either make this as a card, or you could even use it as a Christmas decoration and stand it on your mantelpiece, or do both. So you could use it as a card and keep it as a decoration. So it's entirely up to you what you do with this. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you really wanted to, you could put another snowdrift on the back so that he's got something to stand on this side, but I'm really not that fussy. So I could have taken a piece of my scrap and, okay, do you know what? Let's do that. I'm not even going to cut it down. These are the bits that we cut round. So let's just cut that bit at an angle. I hadn't planned on doing this. The only thing I will do is I'll just cut that little bit off at the top. So I hadn't planned on doing this. So this really is making it up as you go along, as we always do on this channel, but it's good fun, so why not? So if you want a bit of snow on the other side, and that, you know what, that's going to work out quite nicely actually. Just run a bit of your adhesive along the back, but do it on there. Don't do it to the full length because you'll get glue everywhere. And just line it up wherever you want it. Of course, if you are going to do this, do it before you do this part. Otherwise, do it, I don't think we can, do it before you put that first bit down. But we can always put another bit on there if we need to. But we won't worry about that now. And there we go. And if you think, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to mess with that. I was going to try and cut a bit off, but I won't. So when he stands up, he's got a bit of snow either side. So there we go. There is our snowman standing on a little snow mound. Wasn't that fun? So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I do hope you have a go yourself. And I will see you on Friday, if I've still got a voice. I haven't got a cold. What I have got is an allergy reaction. Someone accidentally sprayed me last Friday on the bus with lavender perfume, and she was spraying herself, and oh, I think we seem to have lost a button somewhere. And anyway, that doesn't matter. And the spray came across me and hit me square in the face. And I'm allergic to lavender. And I ended up in hospital overnight, but that's okay. We're doing okay. No real harm done, apart from a bit of it's scarred my vocal cord, so I've got a bit of a dodgy voice. So, but I am getting better. I'm taking this week off, apart from to do this video for you. So hopefully I'll have a slightly better voice by Friday. So if I've still got a voice by Friday, I will come back and do another video for you. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Stay safe, have fun, and as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.